One thing that's lacking today is a sense of community with men. Everybody wants to be an individual and thinks they can do it all themselves. Back in the day, it was very common for men to build strong friendships, sense of kinship, a bond with other like-minded men, a brotherhood, so to speak. This is how communities and societies have been formed. For the role of the man is leadership, protection, and provision. This was taught from boys at an early age, so when they became men, they knew what to do. For the Bible tells us, iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. This is necessary for your growth and development as a man. Now, the three pillars of masculinity are health, wealth, and relationships. Today's video is going to focus on health. And to go deep into this, we have a guest on. My dear friend Alex from Natural Testosterone is going to come on and talk about the new mastermind he has released, which focuses on optimizing your health, but with a twist. The community is very involved, meaning other like-minded men who are going to come on and talk about the things they know so that you can all learn from each other. I myself am actually included in the group, and I think for those of you who are interested in building better relationships with other men, bringing out your masculinity, this is a good step for you and your future. So with that said, let's see what Alex has to say about health. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Alex on from Natural Testosterone, and he's going to talk a little bit about his new mastermind, Reclaim. Alex, take the stage.
Amazing. Thank you for having me here. And all I want to talk about basically is, if you know me, I used to talk about natural testosterone optimization. And that was the main thing I used to focus on. But working with clients for the last 2 to 3 years, I came across a lot of more wisdom. I've worked with a lot of successful guys. And there's a lot of things that I learned and a lot of changes I needed to make this work. So the 3 pillars of masculinity, health, wealth, and relationships, I basically focus on health, helping men master their health so they can conquer their wealth and relationships. And basically, the main thing that I'm making a change to when it comes to natural testosterone and then going into my new Reclaim Mastermind is basically focusing on having the right principles in place. So having the fundamentals right. Like Jesus said in the Bible, he said, he who listens to his words and does it is like a wise builder. The winds came, the floods blew, whatever. My dog is crying in the background. The house did not fall because it was built on the right foundations. So what I want to focus on is having biblical principles and then using the NTLS method to get men to conquer their health. Because a lot of men I've worked with, even successful entrepreneurs, they would conquer their health, but they would have the wrong principles in place. And that led to, lust, greed, so on and so forth, because they had the wrong foundations. So my main focus is focusing on androgen density. So your shoulders, upper chest, upper back, these areas are dense in androgen receptors. And when you're a healthy individual, these areas are very developed, and women are biologically attracted to those areas, just like you as a man are attracted to a woman with nice hips, because it tells you she's healthy. So I primarily focus on developing these areas. The next thing is having low body fat percentage. So when you're in the 8 to 15 body fat percentage range, you will have less estrogen conversion. So when you get a testosterone spike, when you boost your testosterone levels, that testosterone does not get converted into estrogen. A lot of guys try to boost their testosterone levels, but they're overweight. And the fat cells contain an enzyme called aromatase, which converts your hard-earned testosterone into estrogen. So if you want to be successful and you're trying to boost your testosterone levels for the mental benefits, drive, motivation, but you're overweight, it's not going to work for you. It's actually going to backfire. Low body fat, androgen density, getting very strong naturally. I want you to be able to bench 140 and then do weighted pull-ups with 60 kilos rather than benching a lot, but then you can't do a pull-up with your body weight. That's not proper relative strength. So optimizing these areas. The next thing is mastering your metabolic health. So you want to have an abundance of energy. You want to put your body in a state of a wasteful metabolic state. Abundance meaning when you consume food, your body uses it as energy rather than storage. It uses it as an energy source when you're in a state of, abundance, when your body knows there's good times. Just like when you have money and you have a lot of it, you're going to spend it on luxurious things. The luxurious things in your body is like proper hormone function, drive, motivation, energy, proper sleep, so on and so forth, low stress. So the goal is optimizing your metabolic health that way. And the next thing is biblical manhood. So really looking at the pillars of manhood in regards to the Bible. What does the Bible say? Really diving deep into getting the right principles in place. Reading the Bible, especially the books of Proverbs, Psalms, understanding who Jesus was, what he done, how he was as an example. As you as the husband of the relationship, you're a type of Christ. So you need to be in the right role. And basically just optimizing these three areas using the NTLS method: nutrition, training, lifestyle, supplementation. For nutrition, eating the right calories for you, macronutrient ratios, the right foods, optimizing your gut health, and just having a proper routine in place. Then for training, like I mentioned, progressive overload, having a proper training plan, using the right exercises, optimizing recovery. For lifestyle, mastering your sleep, your stress management, and stimulus. And for supplementation, using intelligent supplementation protocols like vitamins, minerals, fat-soluble vitamins, water-soluble vitamins, micro and macro minerals, and then using tactical supplementation like nootropics, adaptogenic herbs, amino acids, so on and so forth to accomplish a desired goal. If it's improved brain function, gut health, blood flow, whatever it is, that's what I focus on. That's the actual course part of it. But as you know yourself, iron sharpens iron. So men grow by challenge. And I've naturally, over the past couple of years, when I'm building my business, social media, I've always got onto like Zoom calls like this with a bunch of guys who are doing better than me. And I would just listen in. And that would push me to the next level, because in your regular environment, there might be no one that's into the stuff that you are. That's why I have the mastermind component, the collaboration component. Throughout history, men always mastermind. They shared ideas, they work together. Just like trees, they're always in groups because their roots are connected. If one tree undergoes some challenge, like a sickness, it's going to communicate with the other trees saying, you need to prepare for this. This is what you need to do if you undergo this. And that's where you grow faster. So having like-minded men in an environment that we're looking to accomplish the same goal, which is masculinity. And you have the community aspect as well. And the course is designed in a way, it's not set in stone. It's like, if I see something that people are struggling with, I'll add a lesson in there. And it's just constantly updating like an app. So yeah, that's my Reclaim Mastermind.
Well, there you go, guys. That's basically what it entails. And the most important part is the fact that you get to collaborate. You get to be in the group. I've already been on the last 2 calls where there was a few other guys on, and you learn so much. And this is what's important, to have an aspect of humility. Even if you master a specific area, there's always something to learn. There's always more you can do. And other people, they may be ahead of you in some ways, as Alex stated, but in other ways, they may be behind you. And it doesn't matter if they're behind in something. If they're ahead in something, you can learn from it. Yeah. And as you guys know on the channel here, I do a lot of case studies so that you can learn from the experiences of other people. And it also comes down to that too. But in the mastermind, it's private. You get to interact one-on-one as well. You all get to talk. And it's that sense of community where you can ask each other questions. You can share bits of knowledge and wisdom from your own experience too. And you also build a strong sense of unity to each other.
Yeah, that's the most powerful part. I used to do just like a course kind of community thing, but people would just come and go. Now it's more of a community. I want to get it to a point because the people make the mastermind, not me or the course. It's the people that's in it. So I'm making sure there's no bad eggs. If I see someone that's just not the right fit, I will tell them. It's not about getting as much people as I can in there. It's getting the right people in there to create a proper culture so we grow together. And that's the goal of it.
And I think for men, it's very healthy to have that level of collaboration with other men, because a lot of guys, especially young men who are trying to start a business or they're scaling their career, whatever happens to be, they have this idea that they have to do it alone. And this is why oftentimes they get burnt out, because they're doing it based off of motivation, off of emotion. There's no discipline. They don't really have a compelling reason that's going to push them to remain consistent. But when you see other men who tell you how they've, for example, conquered their lust, or how they've got rid of gluttony, whatever happens to be, or they've improved in their training, it's inspirational, because you're sitting there and you're talking to all of these different men who ultimately, as Alex said, just like you, the goal is masculinity. You all want to be better men for those around you. And because you have each other, you don't want to let anyone down. So that actually pushes you. When you say you're going to do something, you kind of have to follow through. And it creates that habit, because your habits do shape you. And I think that is a very good thing for guys. Because men today, we've been told that we're all individuals, we're all people. But at the end of the day, you come from a family. You come from a culture. You come from a specific heritage. Yes, you have unique life experiences that have shaped or molded you to see the world a specific way, which may or may not be right. But regardless, you do need other people. And it's foolish to believe that, I'm my own man, I'm a self-made man, and I did it all myself. No. Even when you mastered something, you learnt it from someone, or from a few people who had mastered it themselves, from other people too. So it always goes back to other people, and you do need them. If you were in a forest by yourself and you broke your leg and there's no one to help you and you can't walk, you're going to die. We do rely on one another to build each other up, to help each other. And it's mainly men that tend to struggle with pride. With women, it's not so. But men have a very, very big ego when it comes to that. Oh, I can do it all myself. I don't need any advice. And it's only when they hit rock bottom that they then seek the answers. But you don't have to let it get to that point. If you're on your journey and you're learning, and you want to be around men that are doing the same, the mastermind is a great step ahead for your future.
Yeah, and a lot of men struggle with pride, yet they pray every night to God, asking questions, seeking problems to be solved. God is going to use other people to communicate with you, but if you're prideful, you're not going to listen to them. So being humble, even like the one that's running the mastermind, I sit there and I listen, I take notes, because other guys, imagine guys just like myself, Christian, who specialize are about mastering masculinity, are in there and they've mastered other aspects. Adrian, for instance, one of the clients, he knows a lot about, like Christianity, but like deeper, like deeper aspect, things that I never knew about. And I learned a lot from him. Even though he's a client of mine, I still learn from him, because he's a man that wants to succeed. And he obviously, in his spare time, he undergoes and he studies whatever he's into. And imagine having a lot of guys that specialize in their own thing, and we're in the same group, adding ideas and just masterminding. That's so powerful. Rather than before, it was just me answering questions, which is all right, but it's better when everyone collaborates as a team. Always, we're all on the same team. We're all trying to succeed. It's not about like an ego thing. Even Christ, when he came down, he could have easily done it on his own, but he took 12 disciples with him because he knew it was going to be so much more powerful.
Exactly. It's the community aspect. And it's foolish to believe that you need to reinvent the wheel. A lot of people think they need to do that, and it's simply not true. You have to find the blueprint, which is based on biblical principles, and do what works. And it always comes back to the fundamentals. You see with the top athletes, you look at Ronaldo, before he gives you a C, whatever, he trains all the time, the basics. And then based upon that, then you build up more skill. It's like when it comes to driving. If you don't know how to drive a manual, you don't know how to drive. You need to learn how to do that. And you need to practice, practice, practice. Repetition is the mother of skill.
Yep.
And it's with anything. It comes down to the fundamentals. It's very well and good doing a fancy trick or knowing something unique about that niche or that field. But if you don't have the foundation and you don't apply that, it will crumble.
Yeah. And it's
same thing with relationships, same thing with business, same thing with health. It comes down to that.
Yeah, and it's a group in which, because a lot of like guys who are disciplined, they want to be successful. They're a lot in their head because they can't relate to anybody around them. So this community is a place where there's like-minded men which you can speak your mind to. Like I remember when I started doing those things, I felt so much better because I can speak to people who actually get me rather than talking to people who don't really get me. They don't listen. They just nod their head. But this is like genuine. You get on there and people are genuinely asking, how are you? No, like genuinely, how are you? You can speak your mind rather than aimless, empty conversations with other people which they don't really care. So that's powerful as well. Like you can speak your mind.
Exactly, like attracts like. And there was one of the guys who's in the mastermind. He's a very young guy. He's about 16, and I like to observe. And I noticed how the first time he was very quiet, wouldn't say much. Now the second time around, he's got to hear everybody speak. Now he's opening up more. Now he's talking a little bit more about the things he likes, or he talks about some of the problems his friends were dealing with that he brings into the topic we discuss. Because it's what Alex said, a lot of you are in your head. And if you're entrepreneurial, if you're business minded and you're a young guy, maybe you're 17, you're 18, but your parents want you to go to university, they want you to get a degree, and you're in an environment, you're surrounded by people who only do 9 to 5, or everybody's telling you to do things a certain way. The moment you try and deviate from the path that was laid out for you, they're going to push you right back. And since you're not surrounded by people who are actually encouraging you because they think the same things, you may very well give up on that. But then you're miserable, you're bitter, and you're actually weaker as a man because you've betrayed the passion that God has laid out for you. And so you turn away from it.
Yeah. We made a video about fear the other day, and fear is like it's fear prevents forward progress. But the reason why there's fear is because it's like uncharted territory. But if there's guys that already went through it, they can just say to you, just do it, like do this, do that. This is what's going to happen. You're prepared, and it's so much easier rather than trying to do everything on your own. Like me having like business mentors, like I've saved so much money, I've saved so much time because they already went.
Give me a second, Alex. The door's ringing. Be right back.
I'll just pause. So like I was saying, I learned a lot from business mentors. They saved me a lot of time, money, torment of like doing business stuff because it can get intense. And yeah, the community, the collaboration, the calls is what builds the mastermind. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Well, there you guys have it. I mean, if there's anything else you want to add or tell them they want to, then talk a little bit about as well your newsletter, how that works. I think that's a very powerful thing.
Yeah, so I have a newsletter. If you go to my website, fidurski.com/newsletter, and you can apply. And then basically I send out 4 emails a week. 2 of the emails are about the YouTube videos that I post. One of the emails is always a client testimonial, story, so on and so forth. And one email is just value packed. So I drop a powerful gem that are in my courses, just full on value, just like everything you need to do. And those are the 4 emails that I send every week. Monday is the YouTube one. Tuesday is the client story. Thursday is another YouTube one. And Friday is the value packed one. And I do this consistently every week.
Well, there you guys have it. And of course, Alex's YouTube channel and his website, Reclaim, so that you can check out the mastermind, is linked down below. And you just follow the steps and take it from there.
Yeah, if you want to get right into it, I'll say you can leave a link to just book a call. You can get on the call. It'll be just with me. And we'll just have a conversation to see if I can actually help you, if you're a good fit. And if so, we can just move forward. So yeah.
There you go, guys. That's it. Today's video is shorter than per usual. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. And of course, for anybody who has any questions, also leave a comment down below, or you can message Alex, as he mentioned. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Peace.